Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This week I'm Chuck and we are AlliChuck Adventures. This week I'm going to take the inverter that I had in our old Jayco Whitehawk and I'm going to go ahead and install it in here in the Jayco Eagle. It's been a couple years almost now since we've had this and I've never bothered to install it, but we're going to try our first boondocking coming up. So we wanted to test out the Eagle and see how well it performs boondocking compared to our Jayco Whitehawk, which we enjoy doing that. So I'm going to try a couple little different things this time, a couple of little tricks that I seen online to be able to use that inverter and our batteries to power everything inside the rig. Well, most everything. So my plan is, I've already kind of started it. I've pulled off this panel that holds the battery kill switch and some breakers. And I think that will give me access to basically run power lines from the inverter, which I plan on installing up in here, facing this away, running the power lines through this wall, down in through here, out through the frame, and up to the battery. So that's going to be my plan for installing the inverter, the power inverter. So I bought this solar panel, 100-watt solar panel over at Harbor Freight Tools today. It was like 129 bucks for this particular panel. They had one that was foldable. It was a little bit more. Thought about maybe getting that one instead, but I figured this one here, if we do like it, I could eventually install this one on the roof and add more later. Get the control panel and all that kind of things, you know, because this is pre-wired for solar and it's already like set up for the Go Power, you know, charge controller. But for now, I'm going to use this as like a suitcase solar panel, just set it out. And we're going to try it out this weekend, see how it does, see if it keeps the batteries topped off, and see just how little we have to use our actual, you know, champion generator this weekend. Weather's supposed to be nice, so maybe we can get by with no generator and just use this, the batteries, and a fan to keep us cool at night. So this part sucks. I did not take care of the cables for hooking up the inverter when I took it off of our Jayco Whitehawk, and I've looked everywhere and I cannot find them, so I had to buy new ones. And these were 40 bucks, and I guarantee you it won't be long. I'll run across them and I'll be like kicking myself, but that's the way it goes. I have to have these to run the inverter to the battery. And then once I get the inverter hooked up, this is what I'm going to try and do to get power to the whole rig. I bought a nice thick, you know, 12 gauge short run 25-foot extension cord, which I will run through and hook to the dog bone 50 amp converter, and that should power our lights, power our microwave, TVs, and everything inside. Now it remains to be seen how long we'll be able to run those things off of our two batteries, because these two batteries are not the greatest batteries. But if we're able to run it a little bit and we find that we're enjoying it, I'll probably be upgrading these batteries to either I would say lithium, but probably not. Probably just AGM batteries, some 100 amp hour batteries like we used to have in the Jayco Whitehawk. Okay, so I was able to feed the two wires, as you can see, right up in here, up behind the wall, and they're coming out up here. I'm going to install the wires, make sure that my power inverter is still working. It's been a while, so once I make sure it's working, then I'm going to install it up in here, button everything up here, and go back around and hook those wires to the battery and pray that they're long enough, because I'm a little worried that 6 foot's not going to reach the batteries. Okay, I got that installed, mounted, wired. I have to tighten up those screws, but I do have power. As you can see, the green light is on. And turn it back off. I had just enough of that 6 foot wire that I bought to be able to reach and come up through the side here to connect to the battery. The only thing I'm not sure is I don't know if I should connect this negative to this negative, since I have these in parallel or not. I don't know if it's only going to draw from this battery. I'm assuming it probably will, but I don't know if having these two batteries connected. If you know for sure, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if I'm okay running it this way or if I need to jump like the negative over to this battery. Okay, so that's put back together. Now I just gotta put all my stuff back in the storage compartment. I think I'm gonna clean it out while I've got it open. And but for now, I want to get this solar panel over here opened up, and I definitely want to try it out and see if you know, if it's providing power to our batteries. We got a little bit of sun left here, so I want to try it before that sun goes away. All right, time to open this up. And see what you get for $129 at Harbor Freight. Alright, it's got some cardboard on it. This weighs about 15 pounds, it says, and it feels like it. You got some instructions, which I think everything should be pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to toss those to the side for now. Alright, so on the back, it does have these legs for standing it up. This is what I'm worried about right now here in the backyard, is that this cord, because it plugs in on the other side in the wet bay, and that is not going to be a long enough cord to reach from there to over here. So probably won't be getting much sun from this today with only that much length. Might have to see if I can get an extension cable for this, but I'm going to plug it in and just see what happens. Well, as I suspected, there was no way that this little short power cord was going to be able to reach up into the wet bay on the other side. So I'm going to have to go on Amazon and see if I can order an extension cable for that. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my extension cord to the inverter, run it around through the dog bone, and see if I'm able to get power to most everything in there that I need, and see just maybe just see how long the batteries last tonight. Alright, so at this point I have my extension cord plugged into my inverter. Okay, it's running to the other side of the RV here. It is plugged into its 110 to 50 amp adapter plugged into the rig. Okay. Inside here I have turned off the breaker that goes to the power converter, so that way it's not trying to charge the battery as it's draining the battery. We have lights. The fridge is running. The microwave is powered on. Now, curious to whether the microwave will be able to run on that inverter, but I got all my lights. And oh, let's see if the TV's working. And we have TV. So this is awesome. We have power to the bedroom TV. So it appears that everything is working. Just as I figured, the solar panel cable was nowhere near long enough, so I went on Amazon. I ordered a 25-foot cable. It shipped, but they're saying it's not going to be here till Saturday. We will already be boondocking by then. Luckily, we'll be close to home, so I can probably, when it gets delivered, run back and grab it real quick, because I definitely want to test that out this weekend, as this will be our first experience ever, dealing with a solar panel. And if we like this, we're probably going to end up putting some solar on the roof and putting the charge controller in the inside, and maybe buying a better inverter too. I did run the box fan inside last night from 4:30, and when I checked it at 7:30 it was still going. I checked it again at around 8:45 and it had kicked off. So I guess I got somewhere between 3.5 4 hours maybe out of that before my batteries died. So I'm definitely thinking I'm going to have to go ahead and bite the bullet if we want to do this more this winter and buy some good, at least AGM batteries, some 100 amp hour batteries. These are just the lead acid batteries that are in there right now, and they put the cheapest batteries they can when they're selling these RVs. So we're going to have to do a little upgrading there if we want to be able to run something like a fan throughout the night. And just one thing in closing, I don't know if anybody noticed, but they probably noticed that I had some black fingernail polish on this week as I was working on the RV. No, I do not wear fingernail polish on a regular basis. That was due to the shows we had past weekend with my Scorpions tribute and my Motley Crue tribute. And that video will be coming next week. We also had some friends fly down from Ohio to spend the weekend with us and enjoy the shows. So be on the lookout for that video next week.